All right, Shalom Akim Shalom. Hey, Yahawashi Shai, Brakathum, to my dear brothers out there, you and sisters, worshiping Yahawashi Shai in spirit and in truth. Our praises to Yahawah Shai, and Devon to the apostles over there at Greatmillstone, man. Still to this day, man, the apostles are out there, you know. If you notice, the apostles are, you know, they're higher in age, but that doesn't stop them from going out there to stand 2-3 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's cold, no matter what the weather is. And I'm bringing that point out because you check other 50-year-olds, 50 to 60-year-olds, late 4-year-olds, you know, you check them out, they barely can even function with their bodies. They be the same people that when you go in the store, they got to get the little cart that's automatic, and they sit down because their body hurts so much. You know, they just not healthy at all. They lived a life of a bad diet. They lived a life of lacking Yahawashi Shai, right? And now that they're 40 and 50 years old, that, you know, their main concern is just health and staying alive because, you know, they just lived that type of terrible life. But the apostles of Greatmillstone, the Heavenly Father is with those men, even in their older ages, and they're able to stand, and they do it in the fear of the Lord, and like Paul said, it for the care of the churches, man. That's why it's double honors, you know. And they put us up on game on, you know, how to be righteous in this wicked society just by talking to us over a computer screen, over the internet, just by talking, man. Don't even have to physically be next to them, but you know, I wanted to talk about how basically the hammer of the whole earth is becoming broken, and that's America, man. This place is crumbling, and when you read 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, it tell you how the Heavenly Father gonna break this place down from the foundation. Meaning that the foundation is basically like the moral, the principle, the basics that held this place up. You know, from its religious to its finances, the Heavenly Father is breaking the inside. Basically, he's breaking it from the inside out. That's what the Heavenly Father is doing right now. So I was listening to Full Spectrum this morning. You should know who Full Spectrum is. If not, go subscribe to his page. It's an Edomite that report on just everything. He has a collage of things he report on in like 30 minutes. He just report on things back to back. And one of the things he was talking about is how, especially in the Northwest, that these different business owners, that they're not getting no protection from the police. But now they have to fend for themselves with their businesses. And certain places have been broken repeatedly over the past month. And when they call the police tell them that they don't have time to really help them and aid them in that. You know, basically the police got bigger fish to fry than to be going to robbery. To be dealing with robbery. And it's a domino effect because, remember, they defunded the police. They defunded the police, man. So, since the police ain't getting their money, you best believe they cut certain of their services. And one of those services is dealing with commercial burglary. Domestic violence is another one. They're not responding to these calls no more. And once the American people catch on that they're not going to go to jail, or they're not going to be persecuted for stealing out of this store of something they need, or you know, they're going to go ham. They're going to go berserk. They're going to go into beast mentality, beast mode. And that's the Heavenly Father right there, because the scriptures talk about since iniquity shall abound, the love of many is going to wax cold. Since iniquity or sin run this place, that's what's gonna take charge when things go crazy. It's gonna be sin There's people going to reason by wickedness. They're going to reason by wickedness. They're going to think to themselves, in order to get this food, I got to kill this guy. And they're going to do it. And that's the Heavenly Father judging the world. You know? And here it is. Now, dealing with China, the United States are having concerns about how rather their naval force will be able to even mess with China's naval force, because China's naval force, the numbers are out of this world. And they was talking about on how can technology override the number of men in a army or a navy. And that's the concerns. And that reminds me of how the Heavenly Father in Obadiah, the 1st chapter, they talk about all those that's confederate with the basically should turn their back. I'm saying the difference. You know? The Heavenly Father has this place set up that all the allies of this place is going to switch on them. On America. Okay? Everybody that was friends with America is going to switch on them. And now they're becoming... Esau is afraid of whether Moab is going to try to take charge, because Moab is building in hella numbers, and Moab is ahead in basically the technocracy. He's ahead in the New World Order as far as getting things done. You know? So these Moabites truly believe they're going to be next. But really what it is the Heavenly Father stirring up all the minds of these nations, because at the end of the day, America is going to be nuked in World War III. And everybody that was friends with America is going to change on them. So when I was hearing that, I was like, hey, look at that, look at that. Look at that. They over here scared whether China is becoming too big in their armies. You know? And they have the firepower to fight back. But the sad story about all of it is that for these heathens is that none of them is not going to win, because our Lord Yahawashi, he's going to come back. And he's going to judge in the valley of decision, Yahawashi, that's written about, you know. So that was one of the things that was pouring on. And the other thing that came out this morning is that a time for uprising or a time for judgment, that guy, he was explaining on how they getting ready to, they want to feed you people with beetle burgers, which we all know. We already know. They want to give you over to transhumanism food and get rid of the natural food that the Heavenly Father gave us from cows and natural plants, because they're saying that the emissions is too high. It's causing a hole in the what is it? The ozone layer. Gas is causing holes in the ozone layer. These devils, they're truly using what they taught you in science class. They're using that to gain power and control over the minds of you people. To take the food from you and give you a food that will leave you so low on the frequency that they could control you through it. You know? This guy Bill Gates, in a lot of these different banks, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, they're buying up land that has natural resources all on it. Meaning that if, like, say for instance, the lakes over there in Michigan, all those different lakes, I think Superior, Lake Erie, those different lakes over there, that land that it sit on, the banks are buying that up so that they can have control over that source of water. And when America completely breaks down and it's scarcity of water and food, these banks are going to control these natural resources. These different lands that hold these natural resources. And they're gonna make you be compliant to them under the New World Order rules, the MOTB. If you want shelter, food, water, you're gonna have to become compliant to them. Now you've become a digital slave, because you're gonna have to be MOTB'd up. And that's the Heavenly Father. This place is finished because these Edomites. Remember the movie the Resident Evil movie dealing with I forget what it is, but these devils it showed that they had a meeting, that they said to themselves, look, the end of the world is happening. And then they said it was due to natural gases and the hole in the ozone layer. And they said, look, since it's already happening, let us bring forth this the end by ourselves. Let us do it with our power and our might. So that's the reason why in Resident Evil they released the what they call the TVIRUS. You see? And it became out of control. Them devils lost control, and all them damn zombies was running around the city in the movie. And that's exactly how the Heavenly Father gonna do this place. These devils, with them purposely destroying the financial system they set up, shutting down the food and water farms and the different things that they have had set up over this 100 years, them destroying it, trying to introduce a new thing, trying to introduce a new financial system, you know, a new source of food and water. That's where they're going to fuck up at. They're going to break it all the way down, and they're going to think to build it back up, and they're not going to be able to. You know what that is? That reminds me of the story of Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And I think it goes, all the kings and the men tried to come and put back Humpty Dumpty again, but they couldn't. They couldn't put them back together. These devils, they pushed Humpty Dumpty off the wall. He broke in pieces. That's them, though. They're going to crash the financial system. They're already started with the food. They've taken over with the food and the water. Okay? They already incorporated medical martial law. It's already in action. It's just going to, as we move forward, it's going to get more to the draconian measures and the severity of it. So they already made these things. They already broke Humpty Dumpty into pieces. And they continually stumping at it to break it further. And then they're going to all try to come together and put Humpty Dumpty back together. They're going to try to put United States back together under FEMA in the 10 FEMA regions, and everybody will be digitally incorporated into this new system. That they think they're going to do that, and they're not going to be able to put it back together. They're not going to be able to do it, because just as Job says it, when he think to fill his belly, then shall the Heavenly Father cast, his fire and terror upon him. In other words, the scriptures tell you in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, why do the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing? These heathens out their goddamn mind. And I can't wait till Yahawashi raise us up so we could come and show the world that, nigga, no, we didn't know. We wasn't going to be left all the way down at the bottom of the totem pole. We wasn't going to be just some digital slaves and niggas and spicks. And no, man. But our Heavenly Father has risen us up. And you heathens, you are under us. The glory of the Heavenly Father said he will not give his glory to another. You heathens ain't got the glory of the Lord. Us Israelites do. And the Heavenly Father, starting with his son Yahawashi, he's going to raise us back up. And that's why this place is just continually collapsing. Everything is going bad. Everything is, and these devils really think they're going to clean it up and restructure it according to their mind. But they're going to be in for a sad mistake in the strangeness of our salvation. And so through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, I just wanted to talk about that real quick in the spirit of the Lord. Hope that was edifying to whatever brother needed. Yahawashi, Brakathum.